Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. We'll start the work session, and I'll start with page 38. It's a contract, Major Glenn Wydeck. Major?
The county has hosted this this will be our 43rd conference. We had a multi-year deal with the Marriott Hunt Valley in Cockeysville, which has just recently closed. The only other hotel that is big enough to host this is the Marriott at Owings Mills at the Town Center. This will bring revenue to the west side of the county and to the restaurants and businesses in the area. We just simply need to change the venue because of the closing.
Well, Major, I can tell you that I think you'll be extremely pleased with the Marriott at Owings Mills compared to the older hotel that was there up there in Delaney. I mean, it's day and night, but I think you'll be extremely pleased. Any questions or comments from the members? Okay. 1 second, yes.
Sure, if I may. Thank you, Major. I know you better as Captain Wydeck, but just on a personal note, I've had the opportunity over the past few years working closely with Major Wydeck, as he was the precinct commander of the 12th precinct, and I really needed to see him go. He was such an effective precinct commander, and but he moved on to bigger and better things. I think that Baltimore County, I think I have said this before, when we considered this matter in the past years, this is really a badge of honor for Baltimore County Police Department and Baltimore County as a whole that we're hosting what has become basically a global conference for all. And it's something I think that we can be proud of, and I'll look forward to voting affirmative on this fiscal matter next week. So thank you, Major, for your years of service to our community in Baltimore County.
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, are there any additional questions or comments from the members? 1 second, ma'am. Okay. Ms. Rogers?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon again, council members. I just wanted to thank Mr. Boswick for helping us on this particular transaction. The police department found out very late, as we all did, about the closure of the Delta Hotel, and they had to scurry to try to get another location because, of course, the conference was already being advertised. So we missed the deadline by 1 day, but Mr. Boswick worked with the team to help us get this forward because we have to secure the location. So we want to thank you for your flexibility and support of this effort.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd be remiss if I also didn't thank the auditor to my right, because her staff obviously did a quick time on the fiscal note. Thank you.
Okay, and just, let me see here. Okay. Yes, Councilman Catch?
What are the dates of the conference?
They will be in March. We have to get the exact contract signed to get the exact dates, but they will be in March of 2024.
Would it be open to like members of the council to observe, or?
It is normally for police and law enforcement personnel, but I'm sure we could work something out. There'll be speakers from all over the world for different events. I don't know what the exact lineup is this year, but it's hostage situations, hostage barricades, suicidal gunmen, anything. It's a learning, teaching conference.
I like the fact that our police department is seeking guidance and education when it comes to all these situations that are occurring, like hostage situation, et cetera. And I am interested in you know, how you deal with these incidences. So you know, I don't want to come if you know it's crowded, but you know, if there are openings, if you can let the council know, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We average 750 to 800 people, and it sells out usually every year.
Sounds like no room.
Okay, are there any additional questions or comments from the members? Thank you very much, Major. I was. Okay. Moving right along to page 4, Mr. James Benjamin, County Attorney, a contract and a purchase order.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, members of the council. The first one is a contract with Schlackman, Belsky, Weiner, and Davy, PA. The administration is requesting approval of a contract with this law firm, again, Schlackman, Belsky, Weiner, and Davy, PA, to provide additional or supplementary legal representation for the county and a county police officer in regard to an appeal matter currently before the Supreme Court of Maryland. The firm will work with the Office of Law's attorneys to prepare for and present oral argument. The firm also will work with the office in developing strategy and tactics, reviewing briefs, and performing legal research. The contract would commence upon council approval and continue through the earlier of the completion of authorized work, or January 31st, 2025, and the county will compensate the firm $5,000. Thank you.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Are there any questions or comments from the members? I'd like to applaud the administration and the law department, Mr. Benjamin, for seeking out the expertise that's wanted and needed. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Page 7.
All right. Mr. Chairman, members of the council, the administration is requesting approval of a contract with Progressive Management Resources, Inc. to provide consulting services to ensure compliance with the requirements of a U.S. Department of Justice, or DOJ, consent decree pertaining to the Baltimore County Fire Department. The county entered into a consent decree with the DOJ on September 6, 2023. The parties agreed to voluntarily enter into the consent decree and settle the matter without the burden and risk of protracted litigation. The consent decree does not constitute an adjudication or finding on the merits of the case and is not an admission of liability by the county. The contractor services will include revising the fire department's fair practices policy, complaint investigations procedures and training, and work with the fire department to develop and administer a workplace climate survey to gauge employees' views. The contract commences or will commence upon council approval and will continue through March 6, 2026, which is the end of the consent decree. Compensation may not exceed $430,250 for the entire approximately 2-year and 3.5-month term. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin.
Thank you.
Moving right along to page 10, Mr. Timothy Chance, Assistant County Attorney, Real Estate Compliance, Contractor Sale.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. The administration is requesting approval of a contract to purchase a portion of the property of Kolawole Latif Federo, Babatunde Raji, and Nuruddin Ola Coyote Adenola, located at 6711 Windsor Mill Road for a highway widening area of 2,380 square feet, more or less, and to compensate the owners for a temporary easement area of 3,888 square feet, more or less. The contract amount is $10,380, which is based on the appraisal conducted by an independent appraiser. The project is for the widening of a sidewalk on Windsor Mill Road.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chance. Moving right along to page 13, Mr. Seth Blemon, Energy and Sustainability Coordinator.
Good afternoon. The proposed contract is with Noresco LLC. Just some background, as the owner and operator of over 150 buildings, the county has identified the need to reduce energy consumption and save associated energy and maintenance costs. The consultant will provide a range of services for county office building, historic courthouse, and the detention center specifically. The energy performance contractor will ultimately be responsible for complete services for a turnkey project, meaning design of complex energy and capital improvements, providing complete financing options, providing comprehensive construction management, and then providing equipment maintenance and repair replacement for the complete installation of the measures that they propose. But this contract is just for the energy audit piece, the phase one only. The proposed measures in the contract will allow the county to take major steps in reaching its goals for energy and sustainability, specifically for the state's building energy performance standards that have newly been enacted. During phase one, the audit, Noresco will conduct a comprehensive energy audit, analyze all existing systems, equipment, operations, and utility costs, and provide a definitive estimate of costs and savings resulting from the proposed measures. The agreement has an initial 2-year term, and the county may exercise its option to renew the agreement for 3 additional 1-year renewal options on the same terms and conditions. The MBE goal for the contract is 30%. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Yes, give me 1 second.
Correct. That is the cost of the phase one study would then be rolled into the financing of their overall energy performance contract. And again, it's a guaranteed savings that we are presented with. So any of the spending has to be met with energy savings that are guaranteed. So then it's rolled in. If we don't proceed with the after the phase one audit, we pay them $42,800 if for any reason.
Okay, so what we would be putting on that fee would be an application of not to exceed $250,000.
Yeah, they're locked in at the. They're basically locked in at the 48 or 42,800 just for the.
Locked in at 42,800, but if we decide, the county decides to go to phase two, does that automatically kick in, or is that $250,000 max?
It would be part of the phase two. It would come back to council essentially. Yeah, we'd have to do a phase two contract as a next vote.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're what? Yes. Microphone.
Not only do we know if there's a set energy cost for those 3 buildings that we currently, can we quantify that?
We certainly can. Yeah, we can look at consumption and then the BGA rate schedule. It's typically a G or a GL schedule, and we have all that information.
You have that data in
Yes.
you know about what each building costs as an energy.
Yeah, we have the baseline, and we ask that the consultant quantify the baseline for us, and then we can verify. But that's part of the activity here of the energy audit.
I think we burn oil in this building for heat or something like that.
We do for a subset of our buildings, yeah, fuel, petroleum, fuel, oil, and some propane, but it's only a subset of the buildings.
We burn toast too. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Are there any additional questions or comments from the members? Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you.
Next, we will move on to page 17, and we'll have Ms. DeAndrea Walker, Director of Public Works and Transportation. Ms. Walker, we haven't seen you in a while. Well, you have 7 items.
Yeah. Good afternoon, members of the council. The administration is requesting approval of a contract with Clean Harbor Environmental Services, Inc. To provide testing, packing, removal, and disposal of household hazardous waste from our central acceptance facilities in Cockeysville. This will provide us with an on-site chemist. The contract for this service will commence upon council approval and continue until May 31st, and will renew. We have 3 additional one-year renewals with an option to extend the initial term or any renewal term for an additional 180 days. We don't expect compensation to go over $2.2 million for the entire approximately 4-year term, including the renewal or the extension periods. Just for clarification, this contractor will provide all labor, materials, equipment, and incidentals associated with the disposal of household hazardous waste on a regular basis from our CAF, which serves our waste drop-off site Monday through Saturday year-round. I just want to note that we're one of the only counties that allow our residents to drop off household waste Monday through Saturday. Most counties, when we've done the research, does not allow that. They may allow it one day, or they set up special services once a year or twice a year to drop this off. So this is a service that our residents really do appreciate. So I'll take any questions that you have.
Any questions or comments from the members? All right, moving right along to your next item, Ms. Walker.
The next item is we are requesting approval of a contract with Century Engineering, LLC, to provide on-call watershed and stream restoration assessment and design and monitoring services. This is a 5-year contract and can be renewed up to 2 additional 1-year periods. We don't expect compensation to exceed $4 million for the entire 7-year plus term. This contractor will provide on-call engineering services for various watershed and stream restoration projects and related water quality initiatives. Services include, again, stream restoration and best management practices designs, sediment and erosion control, as well as construction supervision services and post-construction services. We also have the Director Adepts here if you have any questions about this particular contract.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Any questions or comments from the members? Yes, Councilman Batoka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Walker?
Yes, sir.
This contract, would they be working in tandem with consultants that we have that are looking at sewage lines, but sewage lines in Lake Roland area? Because I think you have Rochester line, Towson line, and Roland line also each set of meters in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So would they be looking at the water quality working in tandem with consultants that we have, that are looking at sewer integrity in that area? Condition, because there's been questionable conditions about the integrity of the sewage lines there. If that impacts the
So this contract will primarily be used by DEPS. So if that is a service that DEPS need, along with the services that DPW&T has out there in that area, I'm sure they'll consult with each other, but typically when this contract is called upon, it's called upon by DEPS. We call in the health department if there's sewage discharge. Yes, sir. No, we call in the health. If there is sanitary overflow, we call the health department. And then they take analysis to figure out if we need to post signs, if we need to do other things, or if we need to call in consultants for one reason or another.
Thank you, Ms. Oh, yes. Right here.
Mr. Chairman, DeAndrea, since the reservoirs are owned by the city of Baltimore, I can understand us monitoring our streams and rivers which flow into the reservoir. As far as expenses go and monitoring of the Loch Raven, the Liberty, and the Pretty Boy, do we do that as well, or is it, who does it?
Those reservoirs are managed by the city, so I'm going to say, and I would ask for your indulgence to check with the staff, but I'm going to say that that's a city responsibility.
So we are monitoring the bodies of water that empty into those reservoirs.
So I don't monitor water, that's probably DEPS. So if you don't mind, I'll ask DEPS to
Which I don't have a problem with.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to let the person who does the water monitoring.
Good afternoon, members of the council, Mr. Chair. Horacio Tablada for the record. In regarding the question that you asked, in the ambient stream monitoring, we do monitoring in depth, but this contract is strictly for stream restoration designs. And I know that we have a lot of projects like that going on in the county where the streams are restored and help bring the health back to the stream. So under a different program, we have ambient monitoring of streams. We check for vertebrates, we check the biology of the stream, and to see that the health of the stream, that's a different project. We have some money from the settlement of PCBs that the county received that helps us pay for some of those contracts. But this specifically is related to stream restoration.
I've read a number of reports regarding reservoirs in Baltimore County, which we know are owned by the city, and there are high levels of various pollutants in the reservoir. Is that the MDE, or is that the Federal Department of Environment? Who monitors?
Baltimore City is responsible for monitoring the water quality in the reservoirs under federal direction. So the city owns the reservoirs and they're the one to test. You're probably referring like pollutants, like new pollutants like PFAS and things like that. So they're the one to monitor that and they report to EPA.
Of course, the streams, rivers in Baltimore County that empty into the reservoirs, if those streams aren't monitored, will pollute the reservoir. So in essence, it's two separate entities that are testing the quality of the water in the streams and the reservoirs.
Correct. In the EPS or DEPS, we monitor for the life of the stream, the water quality under the Baltimore City, or the quality of the water feeding into reservoirs is more like for the pollutants related to drinking water, Safe Drinking Water Act, not the Clean Water Act.
Do you have the latest reports regarding the three reservoirs as regarding the levels of pollutants in the reservoirs and which levels are above normal?
We do, and DEPS doesn't have that, that will be Baltimore City.
I can request a report from the city DPW director if you would like, sir.
I looked it up maybe 5 years ago. I was a little concerned of the pollutants that are contaminated. All three reservoirs have two of those pollutants at levels. I just wondered what it is today.
I will tell you from the more recent experience with the city and the reservoir testing, if there is pollutants above a certain threshold, they have to report to MDE, and then MDE requires them to do certain things in order to eliminate those pollutants. So I will feel comfortable saying that they have not gotten any tests because we have not gotten any instructions from MDE that we had to do anything different in terms of pollutant, we being Baltimore City, because they would need to tell Baltimore County as well.
Councilman Cash, also what MD tests is the water being supplied to the residents. So the reservoirs comes in, they're aware of it, and then they pre-treat it, and they go through the whole treatment system, and then can provide it to the resident. But the Safe Drinking Water Act requires the safe drinking water for residents at the pipe at the moment that it leaves into the distribution system.
Thank you. I mean, obviously, it is a cooperative effort between the county, the state, and the federal government, actually. I mean, it's all working together to make sure that the reservoirs are free of contaminants. And yeah, I would be interested in those numbers if we can get them. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir, I'll make the request.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any additional questions or comments from the members? None? You can go right on, Ms. Walker, to page 26, everyone.
Page 26 is which item, sir? Because I only have my item number in order on the list. I just want to make sure I'm going in your order.
The contract with Ashburn Farms. One called snow removal and salt.
Oh, okay, that's next. Yep, okay. It said 18 on mine, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The administration is requesting approval of 4 contracts: Asher Forms, LLC, Consolidated Services, Inc., ARG General Contracting, LLC, and P2 Cleaning Services, LLC. These contractors will provide on-call snow removal and salt application services. Each contract will commence upon council approval and continue through April 30th, 2024, and may be renewed for an additional, for 4 additional one-year periods. Currently in our FY24 budget for storm emergencies, we have $8.5 million budgeted for our contractual snow services. And these contractors in particular will be focused on our primary routes during the snow events to give our county staff the ability to focus on our secondary and subdivision streets more quickly. I'll take any questions that you may have in regards to these contracts. Yes, sir.
Any questions or comments from the members?
Chairman.
Yes, Councilman Katz?
Yes, thank you very much. The issue of the application of salt in our rural areas
Yes, sir.
continues to cause more and more problems with our wells being polluted. And I don't know if you've ever visited people who live in homes where the wells have been polluted with salt. It destroys the freezer, it destroys the ice maker, it destroys the wash machine, it destroys the dishwashers. I mean, it's very bad. And also it can, you'll end up with burst pipes, et cetera, if you don't take care of it. It's expensive. The system is run anywhere from 18 to 20,000, and the maintenance on them is about $1,000 a year. Have we, and I'm not suggesting we stop using salt, okay? I'm not suggesting that because I understand it's the most effective way to clear our roads and make them safe. But has the county taken a look at alternatives to salt? Because I just can't begin to tell you the damage that to homeowners on a, I guess it's a funny side, I don't know, but I met a family and you should have seen the women's hair after taking a shower in this salt-laden water. I mean, it was like sticking up and as hard as it could be. So it's such a problem.
Well, sir, we have incorporated brine into our snow removal services, and I will tell you that we are very cautious about the amount of salt that we use on the roads. We actually have had all of our trucks go through an inspection so we can calibrate our salt feeders, and we try to use as little as possible when it comes to salt. And in the rural areas, we definitely try to use the brine in the rural areas. Mm-hmm.
Is the brine as effective?
It is, it can be. It just takes a longer time for us to produce the brine. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
What is it?
It's a liquid that we put on the roads, but it takes hours to put it all together, and we have a machine that puts it together, and it can only put so much together at a time, so.
What's the other chemicals in the brine?
I don't know the chemicals off the top of my head, but we'll be more than happy to show it to you if you like. No, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay, so, well, that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any of these homes that have been hit by salt in their wells?
No, unfortunately, I haven't been in anyone's home. No, sir.
It's quite a sight.
Yeah.
I can say. One time the county was reimbursing people $25,000 if their wells were polluted with salt, but we don't do that any longer. And the state still does. If you live along a state road and they salt it, the state will pay for a new RO system, maintenance for a certain number of years, and I, on behalf of my constituents, think that we might want to think about resurrecting that program because it's quite a problem. And if you ever want to go see a house that's polluted with salt, just let me know. And I'm sure I can find it. Thank you.
No problem.
Mr. C, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, can I be acknowledged? This is on a different topic, Councilmember Catch. Mr. Chairman, we do want you to know that with respect to minority participation, Director Walker, do you have that information? When the contracts came to me, I asked that question on every single contract, and I'm pleased to say that there are several of these contractors who are new, who are minority contractors, and I think one of them is a prime contractor, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not mistaken, there's two of these on
The
here.
two are prime contractors. Just want to put that on the record because we took your concerns very seriously and moved forward with trying to attract new vendors, but also small and minority vendors in this area, along with lawn mowing as well. Thank you, sir.
All right, well, thank you so much. Any additional questions or comments from the members? Ms. Walker, you can move right on to a contract with, was it
McLean?
parking lot striping?
Yes, sir. Okay, the administration is requesting approval of a contract with McLam Services LLC to provide parking lot striping at various county-owned parking lots. This contract will commence upon council approval and will be renewed or can be renewed for 4 additional one-year periods. We don't expect compensation to go above $199,000 for the entire 5-year, 4-month term, including any renewals or extension periods. This contract in particular will provide all labor, materials, tools, equipment, and supervision to perform parking lot striping services, including handicap parking spots and arrow stenciling and the installation of handicap signs at the 239 county-owned parking lots. I'll take any questions that you all may have.
Are there any questions or comments from the members? All right, Ms. Walker, I guess we'll move on to our next item, Advanced Scale of Maryland.
All righty. Okay, the administration is requesting approval of a contract with Advanced Scale of Maryland LLC. This contractor will provide certified preventive maintenance, inspection, repair services for truck scales at our county's 3 solid waste facilities. This contract will commence upon county approval and will continue for 1 year and will renew and is able to be renewed for an additional 4 one-year periods. The estimated compensation for this contract is $75,000 for the entire 5-year, 6-month period. And this contractor will provide all supervision, label, materials, equipment, mobilization, and required items necessary to provide us with certified preventive maintenance inspection services for our truck scales at the 3 locations. It's important to note that the testing has to be performed using certified National Institute of Standards and Technology traceable weights. I'll take any questions that you all may have.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Hearing none. Ms. Walker, if you can continue on, everyone. We're going to page 42, Resolution 3423. Baltimore County Water and Sewage Plan.
Resolution 3423 amends our Baltimore County Water Supply and Sewage Plan, which is Amendment Cycle 41. Amendments to this plan are made annually and on an emergency basis in accordance with the executive orders of April 11, 1990, July 22nd, 2003, and August 28, 2009. It's important to note that on July 20th, 2023, the Planning Board held and advertised a public hearing on this request for the amendment to the plan and reported the results of the hearing to the county executive. Department of Public Works and Transportation, Department of Environment, and Department of Planning were required to review the request and offer recommendations. The Planning Board did approve the amendment on September 7th. The county executive reviewed those amendments, and therefore I'm submitting them to the council today for approval. This amendment in particular is for 1021 Carroll Island Road, CP Crane Generating Station, parcel 155 and parcel 154. And the current designation is W7 and S7, and the proposed designation is W1 and S1. And then it is also for 1021 Carroll Island Road, parcel 154, and parcel 140, part 1, parcel 140, part 2, capital facilities area, and the current designation there is W7, S7, and it is being proposed to go to W3, S3. And this resolution shall take effect upon the date of its passage by the county council. I'll take any questions that you may have.
Any questions or comments from the members? Councilman Marks?
Thank you very much. This amendment would pertain to the CP Crane property in my district. The county council acted on legislative action I proposed in the earlier part of this year to move this proposal from the water plan. Since then, the developer has acted in good faith with the county to process the sale of that property to Baltimore County for open space, and I believe that will continue to happen, and therefore I do not think the passage of this resolution in any way jeopardizes our ability to acquire that property. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Marks. Any additional questions or comments from the members? Hearing none, thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Don't stay away so long.
Yes, sir.
Next, we're going to move on to page 1. Council members Marks and Crandall.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Bill 8123 provides an alternate accelerated path by which the county may demolish structures it deems unsafe. There are several elements to this process. There's a posting on the property. There's a detailed inspection done by the county, and then there's a evaluation that is posted online. The county will make the determination if this is an unsafe structure, and if the property is demolished, there'll be a lien placed on the property. You know, the built inventory in Baltimore County continues to age, and I think we need to look at alternative processes rather than just condemnation. And I want to thank the administration for working on this legislation, and I'm pleased to sponsor it.
Okay, any questions or comments from the members? I just have one. Do we have, or will we have adequate notice and confirmation that the owner does in fact know that we're going to demolish their property, and that they would have every opportunity to bring the property back into compliance?
Legislation details that. Not only is there a sign posted conspicuous on the property, but I believe there's a letter sent by certified mail to the owner, and there's also that analysis on the internet. So, I mean, I'm confident that the owner would have some understanding this is going to happen. And there's also a provision in the bill for an appeal of that decision. So.
Okay, so the only thing, I mean, I'll look at it again, but I guess for me, a lot of times I feel like, you know, certified mail is good, but a confirmation that the person did in fact receive the message is better. Do we have anything like that?
Yeah, I'm open to any amendments. Mr. Boswick or the administration, if you want to propose anything, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Okay. Any additional questions or comments from the members? I guess we will move on to Bill 8323 by Councilman Catch.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. If you talk to people in communities, if you talk with people that drive on our roads, if you talk to the police, you'll find that since COVID, people are driving faster and not obeying our traffic laws. And as you all know, years ago, the state legislature enacted legislation allowing subdivisions to have speed cameras at schools and work sites. In my district, we have various roads where there's a speeding problem which puts students in harm's way. What this will do is this will allow the county to put the speed cameras within a half mile of the schools, which is allowed in the state legislation. When this bill was passed prior to the time that I was elected to the council, the county put certain restrictions on where the speed cameras can go. They can go basically next to school property. And there's an exception, I know, with Catonsville High School, where there's a speed camera on Rolling Road, which is not adjacent to the school property because that is a hazardous intersection or a hazardous place for students to cross. So all this bill does is it gives the county flexibility to place speed cameras where the problem exists. And I can name two schools in my district where the placement of the speed cameras does not really do the most effective job. And if they were moved else, I was thinking of Charmouth Road to be exact. If they were moved on Charmouth Road, they could be more effective in slowing down traffic and protecting our students. So that's what the bill does. And again, it just makes sure that our bill and the way we approach the placement of speed cameras at schools will be in line with the state law, a half a mile from a school. Thank you.
Certainly have a couple of questions for you, Councilman Katz, because I think, if I recall, the purpose of the speed cameras were construction zones and school zones. So if you are half a mile away from the school, are you there trying to protect the students, or are you someplace else?
Yeah, if you take a look on Charmouth Road, the path that the students use to go to school, a couple for one particular intersection that they cross over to the school side of the road, which is not school property, is the place where that's most dangerous. So this bill would, in essence, allow the support Charmouth Road, but this intersection is a place that if we put the speed cameras there, then the odds of one of our students being hit would be greatly reduced because it would slow down the drivers. Now, the bill in the legislature dealing with schools and the speed cameras does have, as part of it, within a half mile of a school. That's the bill. And so this simply would allow the more flexibility.
Okay, I was just looking up a issue that the state just, in fact, tightened up the space that speed cameras are allowed to go. I'm trying to research the legislation now that was introduced and passed by Senator Sidnor, and I guess it was a similar scenario where people were complaining that you had speed cameras that were supposed to be meant to protect the children in the school zone being used at any other big roadway they could find that fit within the whatever the mile radius was. It had nothing to do with the school zone, but everything about writing additional tickets on a busy road. So I'm trying to research it now, to find the details that the Senator Sidnor legislation did. But as I recall, the bill was designed to shrink the speed zones of what was considered a school zone.
You know, all I can say is that I can tell you that the situation on Charmouth Road is such that the placement of the speed camera is not the most optimum location to protect our students. So as long as, with this particular piece of legislation, as long as maybe we need language that would state that the placement of the speed cameras is for the benefit of the students or protection of the students, which I'd be fine with. That the intention is not to control traffic outside of the school. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to protect school children.
But can't you, I mean, wouldn't you agree that in most instances, if you go a half a mile away from a school, then you're probably less likely to be protecting the children, and more like, and I'll give you an example. Let's take Lyons Mill Elementary School. Lyons Mill Elementary School is on Lyons Mill. Well, if you have permission to go a half a mile away, you might be tempted to put that speed camera on Owings Mills Boulevard, where there's 10 times more traffic, and you probably would generate 10 times more revenue, but I dare say you're probably not protecting any children. And then I can do the same thing with many of the schools. In my district, if you go a half a mile away, you're probably more likely to hit a busier road, like Liberty Road or State Road or anywhere. But anyway, that's some of the concerns I have.
Basically, we could amend it to clarify that this is intended only to be able to place a speed camera at the most optimum location to protect children going and leaving school. I mean, that's what the purpose of this is. It has nothing to do with collecting money through the speed cameras, and nothing to do with that. It's safety of our children walking to school. I know that we have students who cross Warren Road going to Cockeysville Middle School. Warren Road is heavily trafficked, and you do have students crossing that road. It's dangerous, and I think this would be a location that the county may determine would be the best location for such a speed camera.
Mr. Chairman and
Yes.
members of the council, if I may, so the state law currently allows a school zone to be within a half-mile radius of the school for any of the grades kindergarten through 12th grade. But there is also the proviso that it has to be where school-related activity occurs. It can't just be a half a mile in any direction where no school activity is occurring. And the state law also indicates that school-related activity includes travel by students to or from school on foot or by bicycle, or the dropping off or picking up of students by school buses or other vehicles, for example, parents. So, and what this bill does is simply codify that state law into the county code so that it, in a sense, publicizes that our use of speed cameras in school zones comports with what the exact state law is. So I think it kind of goes to both of your points that it does specify in the bill that it has to be, that it can be within a half mile of a school, but it has to be where school-related activity occurs, including travel by students to or from school on foot or by bike, or dropping off or picking up students by buses or other vehicles.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Any additional questions or comments?
I have one quick question.
Give me 1 second, let me get you.
Good. I love that. What is the current, county law as far as how many feet they have to be within school? I know I have a situation, my McCormick Elementary School, and they sorely need a camera that goes westbound, but I think because of the current legislation, the camera would need to be placed on someone's front lawn, whereas we could go a block down the street, there's county land that we could actually put the speed cameras on, and that theoretically would help.
Yes.
So this, Mr. Ertel, the state law, the county law is currently not, I guess, I don't know what the right word is, but precise as maybe what you're talking about and what Mr. Catch, I think, wanted to do in this bill. Currently, the law says the police department, in consultation with other offices and departments of the county government, may develop a program for the procurement, use, and implementation of speed monitoring systems in school zones in accordance with 21809 of the Transportation Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland. The department shall use portable speed monitoring systems where feasible. So that's basically what it says. And 21809 A7 is the statute or is the subsection in the state law that defines a school zone. So that's what we're putting into the law now.
There's no current, there's no limit right now on how many feet it has to be.
No. And that's why, although it does talk about school zones in the current law, but I think, again, Mr. Catch's bill is trying to be a little more precise and be a little more explicit about school zones. Thank you.
Okay, any additional questions or comments from the members? Yes, Councilman Patoka?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So,
Here we go. Yeah, no, it was taking me a second to get the other screen up.
So, I fully support this bill. When I go to community meetings, what I hear today at every single community meeting, doesn't matter if it's in Ruxton or Woodlawn, or any of the other communities in between, the number one issue you hear today, you didn't hear this 5 years ago, number one issue, without, and all the others are a far second, except stolen cars and things like that. People tell me, community leaders and residents that live in the community say, my neighborhood street is not a raceway. People need to slow down on my street. People need to respect the neighborhood. And I don't know if my other council members or my colleagues are hearing this, but this is far and away number one because it's a clear quality of life issue that every community is experiencing over it has absolutely accelerated after the pandemic. It has not slowed down, no pun intended, it's actually grown. And so there's only 3 ways to slow traffic down. Traffic enforcement by the police department, traffic calming devices, which are very difficult to meet the requirements and have the implementation of that, or cameras, automation. But we have to, if we're going to be a safe community in Baltimore County, we have to slow vehicles moving through neighborhoods down. This is the mechanism for slowing it down. Let's do it. I will say that I don't know, Mr. Secretary, if this is included, but private schools considered an appropriate place to locate a speed camera with parameters defined.
They are included.
I think we need to expand it. And I know the state legislature had a very close vote on expanding the speed camera bill last year, and I think a number of the legislators may be reconsidering based on what they're hearing from community. This and stolen cars, I think, are the 2 number 1 quality of life issues in Baltimore County right now. And you do any amount of outreach, you're gonna hear it. If you're not hearing it, it's not going to neighborhoods. So, this is what I'm hearing, Pat, thank you for bringing it forward, and I'd like to just have it as a custom. Thank you. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I mentioned in my testimony Warren Road. Warren Road is heavily traveled, no doubt about it. And kids must cross it to go to Cockeys Hill Middle School, as I said. Charmouth Road is, what do they call it? Not a, what do they call the roads? Connector road, that's what they call it. It's a connector road. And the speeds in the morning and the afternoon are such that they need to be controlled. And Hampton Elementary sits right on Charmouth Road. It's dangerous. And this would help us to control the traffic along Charmouth Road. Thank you.
So I certainly appreciate the comments of Councilman Katz as well as Councilman Patoka. And I think we have, what do we have, 180 schools in Baltimore County Public Schools, not counting the public schools. And I guess I'm concerned, everybody wants to slow people down. Everybody wants to make sure our children are safe. But I'm very curious about the unintended consequences if we have somebody who's focused on writing tickets as opposed to protecting our children. I can tell you a number of locations. I'm just looking at Owings Mills High School. I want a camera near Owings Mills High School to protect the children. I don't want a camera on Reisterstown Road less than a half a mile away just because it has a lot of traffic and, you know, maybe one or two kids walk that way. I guess we should think this through. By expanding the area, you are moving away from the school. There's no getting around that. You expand the area, you're moving away from the school. Maybe some kids travel that route. Maybe some kids bike that route. But the majority of all of those kids are going to be at the school at some point during the day. That's where they're all going, and that's where we should provide the maximum protection for their safety and not expand it to a half a mile away. A half a mile is a long ways. Half a mile is a long ways. So that's my 2 cents. Any questions or comments from the members? Councilman Patoka?
Secretary, can we put them on state roads if or is that the state's responsibility?
I think, trying to think it through quickly, if it's in a school zone, in Baltimore County, I think we can. If the school.
Because I think, Mr. Jackson, I saw one on Reisterstown Road, Owings Mills Elementary. But it's set, I think it's set at 40 miles an hour there. So if you're going beyond that, I can tell you I had a constituent call me who was riding on Smith Avenue, Whitesville High, Wellwood Elementary, there's Yako, a couple of synagogues there. And she said, Mr. Patoka, I got 3 tickets, speed camera tickets on Fifth Avenue. I got 2 going one way and 1 going the other. So it got me to thinking, is that a speed camera error or is that a user error? And I think it's a user error. Because if you, and I would reach out to my state partners to ask DMV to check into this, but if you are consistently getting speed violations at the same intersection, are you qualified to drive a car? Because it makes no sense to go back and forth and get the same speed ticket. So my thesis is that it changes behavior. And people, when they see a speed camera, or even if it was there yesterday, and you know it was there yesterday because I know that sometimes the police department moves them around school to school because there's a limited number of speed cameras that a great demand for speed camera need because of the amount of speeding that goes on, that they move them around. And I know that if there's a speed camera that was there yesterday, human behavior is that you slow down with my speed. So you create a safer environment for children. I would say there's also a collateral benefit for creating a greater level of public door only to have some speeder come by and knock the door off, or worse, hurt them. But, you know, we've got a problem with acceleration. I always tell people games like this. Listen carefully, everyone. So pretend you have a raw egg under your accelerator. Don't let the accelerator down fast, don't crack the egg. That would be the drive.
You're more than welcome. Let's hope you're not in front of me on the Beltway. But listen, to your point, Councilman Batoka, I can tell you a senior in my community on a limited income, fixed income, he was charged with taking his grandson to school for a week while his daughter was on vacation. Got 3 speeding tickets. If it were a police officer, he would have had the correction right away. He would have known better. But he got 3 tickets. He didn't even know he was speeding until a week and a half later when he got 3 tickets in the mail. You just gave an example where somebody got 3 tickets. I'm not here to debate on and on about whether a person should get a speeding ticket or not getting a speeding ticket and how to get a speeding ticket. My issue is, and this is the issue at hand, if you extend the range, the area, there's a good chance you will not be protecting the students to which the bill was passed in the first place. School zones, construction zones. I'm looking at Milford Mill Academy. Okay, in front of Milford Mill Academy today is a speed camera. And I support that speed camera. It's in front of Milford Mill Academy. You make it a half-a-mile radius, that camera could end up on Liberty Road. And do we have students crossing Liberty Road? We sure do. We got students crossing in every direction from all around that school coming to that school. But where should the camera be placed? Should it be placed on Liberty Road, where there's 100 times more traffic than on Washington Avenue? If you give this permission, I can foresee somebody taking advantage of that and moving that camera to Liberty Road, and the auspice is while the students cross Liberty Road. Well, the other 99% of the students are down there at Milford Mill Academy, and that's where the camera should be. And that's my 2 cents, Councilman Batoka. Go right ahead.
So, 2 comments. One is, if we could slow traffic down on Liberty Road, we're making our northwest corridor much safer, because Liberty Road has traffic on way above the speed limit every day, every hour. So if we slow traffic down on Liberty Road, we've done the right thing, as well as side streets. I would also say that on speed cameras, to be clear and clarity to this, is that if you're going, if the posted speed is 40 miles an hour or 30 miles an hour, if you're going 31 or 32 or 33, 34 or 35, all the way up to 12 miles above the speed limit, you're not going to get a ticket. So if you're by a school and the posted speed is 30 miles an hour, if you're going 40, Mr. Boswick, you're not going to get a ticket. If you're going 41, Mr. Phillips, you're not going to get a ticket. But if you're going 42, Ms. Belcastro, you're going to get a ticket. So it's a 12-mile-an-hour threshold. And so I would say that people, and even the poor grandfather that was taking his child to school, he was traveling 12 miles above the speed limit. And that's unsafe for our children. So we've got to correct this aggressive behavior from our drivers. It's an effective, cost-effective way to do it. If we don't have the ability to build enough traffic calming devices, or we don't have enough police officers, I think we all know that this is so Ms. Rogers, 300 police officers short, so we don't have the robust traffic that we had in the past. And so this is a way that we can do it effectively, providing safe neighborhoods, slow down traffic.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, let me just real quickly respond to Councilman Batoka. Thank you so much. And I was listening to you, and a couple of things you said, should, would, and I was thinking while we're there with what should happen and what possibly could happen, why don't we work on world peace and everything else while we're dreaming? Councilman Katz?
I feel obligated to confess.
Oh, no.
And I blame it on the first district council member. Because, yeah, along, Old Frederick Road, there's a certain elementary school there. And my wife and I have gotten 3 speeding tickets there, but now I know to slow down. It only took me 3 tickets to figure that out. But I don't know why you did that to me.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go right ahead.
Councilman Katz, didn't you used to represent that area?
Not down that far.
Okay,
I
just,
stopped at Route double T
no
on
worries.
Route 40.
Just curious, I mean, figured you would have known how fast the speed limit was on those roads.
Actually, the school wasn't there.
Mr. Chairman, no further questions.
And on that note, you have us all, Councilman Katz. You have us all. Any additional questions or comments from the members? Okay, I guess, let's see, are we adjourned? Yeah, I think we're adjourned. All right, thank you very much. Everybody be safe. God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.